Develop a fortune state of mind, state of mind. It's time for a date with, time for a date with the Dorseys.
Hello, 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 and welcome to A Date with the Dorseys. I am Dr. Jatan and
I am Floyd Dorsey the Fourth,
affectionately known together as Dim Darn Dorseys.
Dorseys.
Not to be confused with them.
THEM?
Darn Dorseys.
No,
because we
not
set
that.
apart.
Yeah,
and different.
A little bit different.
Peculiar people.
Okay.
But anyway, if you want to find us on social media, please look us up on Instagram and or Facebook at Dim Darn Dorseys. Say it with me. Dim Darn Dorseys.
That's DEM.
Exactly. So we'll be looking forward to connecting with you on social media. Again, Facebook and Instagram. And if you have been listening in to any of our previous episodes, and if you hadn't, here's your chance to learn.
Your chance. Jump in. Let's go.
Yes, but we got to give you a little insight. Our topics are typically on the 5 F's, right? And you just never know which F we're going to choose or how we're going to. That was kind of a little
yeah, but you just never know that.
You just never know, and you'll never know how we're going to add a little twist to that thing. So just to give you a little insight, as I mentioned, we have 5 F's. One is family, and we always like to test each other out on remembering these. So we have family.
Finances.
Okay. Faith.
Okay.
Fun. And faith, family, fun,
finance.
Fitness, and finance.
That's it. It's the fitness. We left that off a little bit at the end, and we had to hang on that because I think there's a little bit of opportunity. I think for all of us, especially in that category.
Yeah.
But certainly we'll share some insights on our journey along the way in all of these categories.
Absolutely. There's always opportunity, right? So we won't always be perfect, but we want to always put our best foot forward to become the best version of ourselves.
Exactly. Especially with fitness, we want to put both foot forward. So
you got to put one after the other. I got you. You got to get moving.
Forward. That's it.
But today we want to talk about likes versus love.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a pretty hot topic and get a little muddy too, right?
Very much so.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about that and really dig into how some are more focused on the attention and getting it confused with the love, right?
Right.
And likes don't equate to love.
But sometimes it may feel that way, though.
Yeah.
And that's the tricky part, right? So, I'm on social media and I'm posting. I see that people are responding to my posts with likes or with maybe some hearts, right? Mm-hmm. Likes or hearts.
Or some mean faces or
whatever it may be. This is attention, and it's something that I crave. And it's like a dopamine that feeds just like anything, right? You may go shopping and you love shoes. And I want to get a new pair. And once I make the purchase, I put it on. Wow, it does something for me. It's that stimulation that we certainly need, and we certainly crave. I'd say rather need, more crave than need. And
we're saying we and I just in general, though, as people,
exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Exactly. In general. And I say we because, no one is exempt from
Absolutely.
this type of feeling or desire or whatever it may be. But we want to just talk about it. Let's address it. Let's try to unpack some of the rationale or some of the need or ideas around it. Because there's certainly opportunity, I think we can all learn from it.
Yeah, indeed. And I think that it really, if we take this, as we unpack it, I want to take a couple steps back because even before you grow into this person or this identity that is dependent upon these likes or these hearts or these whatever emojis you look forward to receiving, before that is the you with inside you when nobody else is around, when social media wasn't around.
That's it.
Who is that person, right? And do you know your worth so that when these things come about to change, the worldview, are you able to adapt to that in a way that you still are you? You're still true to you and yourself and know your worth.
You haven't compromised the you that you are. Now, the key thing about that, as we unpack, is knowing that need for that dopamine or for that feeling or that perceived love that you're receiving it didn't just come out of thin air, right? There was something already there before the social media and before the platforms that you're currently on ever existed.
Yeah.
So the question is, what did you do about it then, and how big or how small was that void that was in your life that craved that was before the social media engagement began, right? And so I'd hate to say that, oh yeah, social media just caused this thing to come out of people. And I'd say, no, it just became more visible.
Yeah.
And it became more accessible for people to get that in such a broad way. And so for many, it may be some neglect that they experience early off in one phase of their life. Maybe it was experience of heartbreak or whatever that is, right? Or maybe they're used to just getting attention because they were popular at one phase of their life, maybe in high school or something to that effect. And as they went on through life, that was pulled away. And so they tend to crave that feeling that they receive from that because it made them feel good. I think ultimately that's what we're getting to.
Feel good.
Making me feel good.
Yeah.
Right? And
feel wanted.
Yeah.
And like you belong.
There you go.
Yeah.
I equate love to feeling good, feeling desired, feeling wanted, feeling appreciated. And those are some of the basic needs that I don't think us as humans have or will ever escape, right? We want to feel that and we want to know that. But the problem is it real or is it not?
Yeah. And I think that not knowing whether it's real or not is really a job in itself to sit and wonder and worry about that.
Right.
So it's more so, again, building yourself up to a point or a standard of knowing your worth. So regardless of what somebody says or doesn't say, regardless of if it's on social media or in your face, right? How do I deal with this? How do I rise above the negative? How do I embrace the positive and not allow those things that may contradict what we before thought about ourselves if it's negative, and make that change our whole lives because it is negative. And when we talk about, again, tying it back to the social media, we have people now that have what they call keyboard courage. So they're behind the computer and they'll say anything.
Keyboard courage. I like that.
You know how you say when you got the little drink in you,
right,
you might say some things you wouldn't normally say.
Absolutely.
Right? But now you got this keyboard. Now you'll say things that you probably wouldn't normally say.
Project.
Right. Had you been in my face or in my presence, you probably wouldn't have said the same thing. I'm not saying that's everyone, but I'm just saying that's just another aspect to consider as well. And some people just
absolutely
they don't have anything better to do with life than to do that.
Yeah, and that's the other side of seeking validation or affirmation or fulfillment from the social media or whatever you're looking external of yourself to receive that from. And I think that's the biggest thing, right? We're talking about seeking that type of affirmation and validation outside of yourself, whether if it's social media, or whether if it's just from people complimenting you when you go into the office or when you go out or whatever it may be.
That's a good point.
It's the same thing, right? And it's just transitioning over and carrying out and performed in different avenues and different platforms in different ways. Mm-hmm. It's like I am thirsty. I had a hard workout and I'm extremely thirsty. I go to the refrigerator, look for water. There's no water. There's nothing in the pantry, anything. I find this soda. All right, it's a 2-liter Coca-Cola Fresh, knowing I shouldn't be drinking it, and we wouldn't have that here in the house or anything like that, or at our house. But nonetheless, I reach for the soda and I drink it. Now I'm very thirsty. I'd say I'm dehydrated, but I drink this soda, and it begins to give me some form of gratification and fulfillment to thinking that it's quenching my thirst. But only until a while later, I'm realizing, man, I am still thirsty. Something is still missing. But there's nothing else around. And my body is depleted of any water or any substance to fulfill itself. So I go back to drink more of that 2-liter soda. And now I'm continuing to go back to the same thing that's now making it even harder and making it worse on me. But I'm thinking in my mind that it's giving me some form of fulfillment. And it's only just temporary gratification. And it's not really doing me any good because it's causing harm to my body, right?
And creating a bad habit.
Yeah. But not knowing the very thing that I need is water to truly quench my thirst and give my body the fulfillment of the nutrients and whatever that it needs to now be in a state where now I'm no longer dehydrated. Now I can say that I'm fulfilled, right? I'm a point of a little bit more balance. And so that's how we compare love to the social media or to just for any external gratification for likes, because we're constantly seeking that. And I say we as in general, as in people, but we're seeking that, and we get a sip. It feels good. Wow. And now I need more because now I'm starting to get addicted to this thing.
Yeah.
And I didn't get the real deal. I'm not getting the real thing that I need or I want or really crave, the truly need inherently. I'm just seeking this other stuff.
So if y'all can see me, I'm just, bobbing my head up and down in agreement as if you can see me. But all of that is good, Mr. Dorsey. I must add, even with that analogy, was making me think about when you talked about the taste and the feel good of the Coke, whereas you need the water to really replenish or to hydrate you. And if we would think about it in a way to say that water is going to make us feel better than the Coke tastes.
Hello, somebody.
If we think of it that way, then you don't focus on that temporary feeling of, I was going to say gratification, but it's really not even that. It's just a temporary satisfaction.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And it feels good, though. It feels so. How do I get beyond how it just feels so good in that very moment? Because, many of us, we want to feel good. We really want that, and we crave it.
Yeah.
But knowing that this water that I take, it's not gonna taste as good, maybe.
Yeah.
Right. And sometimes love is that way. It doesn't always just taste so good.
You preaching today.
Right. But it's something that you certainly need. I mean, we call sometimes that tough love, or we call it so many different things, but it is truly that of which we yearn and really need, whether if it's from a spouse, a maid, a parent, child, a sibling, whatever it may be. There is this internal thing that we need. But now let's move beyond that. Let's get to the point of the love and what you're filling yourself with. And I think we were touching on this earlier. But now, how are you within yourself? What are your thoughts on who you are and what you are, and how you receive yourself when you look in the mirror and when you look internally within yourself? And again, if we want to get to the root of it, I think that's where it's at, right? We do things to fulfill that, but really what's there in the first place?
Yeah, and that what's there in the first place is really what drives your desire and your thoughts about what it is that you see love to be and how you want love realized in your life. And to your point earlier, that could be with a spouse, a family member, whomever. But oftentimes when you don't really know love and you just know the attention, in your mind, you're culminating or even creating and developing this idea of love for a spouse that is really not healthy.
That's it.
Right? It's that Coke. And I'm
Coke.
talking about the Coca-Cola that we talked about earlier. Just to be clear. But it's that. And it's not the water that's going to rehydrate you and, carry you through in a healthy perspective of life. But then you don't know that until you get into it. But it's all, again, starting and stemming from you as an individual, how you see yourself, how do you understand your worth, and knowing that building yourself and getting yourself in a position of where you can be loved and not so much focusing on the external prepares you to receive the right kind of love.
Right. And so I'd question that in the absence of any compliments, any likes, any affirmations that you're receiving externally, truly, how would you feel about yourself? How do you feel about your contributions to your families, whatever systems or social systems that you're a part of, even work? How do you really feel about you? And again, those things are important to knowing your value and your worth. And, Dr. Jatan, my wife, my spouse, my water instead of Coca-Cola, right? She mentioned earlier. Oh. But it is, what is it that, who's the you that you are, and what's in you at this very moment. And sometimes I will say that a lot of times we pour ourselves out, and we may feel that we're dehydrated and we need some replenishment. And that's okay, because oftentimes people are just constantly givers and givers and givers.
Yeah.
And once you poured out your cup, or once you've really, depleted what you have inside of you, you're seeking for something else to come back inside of you. There are ways to deal with that, and I know we probably won't be able to go into it in this conversation, but there's certainly ways to deal with that and to seek your source to continue to replenish you and refill you. But it's certainly not through some temporary gratifications, because the very thing that you seek to temporarily fulfill you can be the very thing that someone, again, one of these, what did we call it, computer, somebody behind the computer, can say some things now to bring you down. So now you're living a life dependent on it.
Yeah.
And you're just an emotional wreck, because you're going up when things are good and everybody likes you, and as soon as something comes in, you'll find that. Trust me, you'll find that one comment, that one thing. You have 20,000 likes and good things, but you'll find that one
and beat yourself up.
And you would sink in a hole. And it's like, okay, wow. So really, what's going on, and what do you really? It goes back. What do you really think about yourself?
Yeah, because most of the social media platforms is superficial. People are looking at pictures, halfway reading posts. The actual text is just about what you see, and not really, understanding what's behind that. Especially when people are those out there that are posting inspiration or motivation or whatever, right? It sometimes gets flooded by the other stuff.
That's it.
And then that's why the attention for most turns to that. And it could be detrimental to you as a person. But it also, I think I want to kind of drive into how you attract that thing or that type of energy when that's what you are always looking for. If you just want that like just because I posted a cute picture or whatever it is, then that's what you will receive in love.
That's it.
And it may not be exactly what you're looking for, but that's how you are attracting. That's what you are attracting.
That's what you're putting out, right? So now you're putting out this idea, this persona, that's who I am, because this is what I have to do to get the likes. Mm-hmm. But now this is what I'm going to have to do to keep the likes.
That's what they say when you lie one time, you got to keep
going.
lying.
That's it. You got to keep going. So now I'm putting this out there, and the only way that I feel at this point that I can sustain it, I have to do more. Mm-hmm. And I have to do more. And sometimes the images or thoughts or ideas or videos now have to get even more racy or provocative or whatever that may be, because now I have to keep this thing going. And now you've created this engine that's so separate and apart from who you truly are that you have to now start to become that thing, right? Mm-hmm. To sustain it. And now it's engulfed your true identity. And that part is when people get lost from their true self into this social media world, or even not outside of social media, into this outside world of their own particular identity. Now you're lost. And you're trying to find your way. And deep down inside, you truly are not fulfilled.
Yeah.
You still have that thirst. You still have that gaping hole or whatever it may be. And you're really yearning for something of substance.
And a quick detour, but still on the same topic. We're still on the same highway, right? We're just going to get on the service road.
All right, we can do that.
So when you think about the likes as well, when we talk about from a business perspective, you have to be careful in translating likes into profit, because that's not an accurate equation either.
Really?
So just because you're getting this many likes doesn't mean you're making that much profit.
Okay. For those that are using this social platform for business.
That are using that, yes. Which if you aren't, shame on you, because you should be. But
to monetize it, right? If you're putting all this effort into it.
Right. So it's important to learn how to leverage that in a way that you can convert those into profits, right? And not every like will do that. But it's important to remember that just because you got this like, or just because you see someone that is in business that has a lot of likes, it doesn't mean that they're credible. It doesn't mean that they are a millionaire, whatever it is, that you may associate them with. So I encourage you to continue to do your due diligence before, you agree to do business with everyone.
That's it. And it's just like, it's twofold. So we went from, the love and likes piece into more of your finances, right? It's another F that we certainly like to talk about because, again, if you're looking for likes to equate to finance, then again, you're sadly mistaken because there's so much more to it, right?
Yeah.
And how do you... And again, that's probably another session on
episode.
how
That's
do you
why I
make
said
that
I want to get on the service road just a little bit. We're going to veer back onto the highway.
Because now how do you transition those likes into dollars? And that's a different conversation. And I know Dr. Jatan is certainly an expert in that space. So maybe that's another topic we'll do for another time.
Yeah, definitely. So we don't want to hold you guys too long because this was getting juicy. I told y'all we love those hot topics. And we shared a lot in this session. But again, the main point here was to ensure that you are clear and connected to your inner self and your worth, so that when you do go out into the world, when you do go out and engage with other people, when you do go out and look for love, hopefully love will just find you. But if you're going out to look for love, that you come as a whole person that is confident in who you are, confident in what you need to fulfill your thirst, and it's not Coca-Cola, it is water.
That's it. So that's it in a nutshell. And you really want to take some time, I'd say, before you do that, really take some time and do an inventory of self. Understand who you are and who you're bringing. If you feel that there's opportunity within you, and I think we all do, but if you feel that, if I'm really looking for love, am I coming in parts or am I coming in whole? If I'm coming in part, take some time and figure out what parts need to be repaired, be replenished, or to be brought all the way together. And that's the work that you have to do. Again, Dr. Jatan and I, we're certainly here to help, inspire, coach, whatever it may be in that space. But again, I think that is truly the work within oneself before you present yourself to someone else. Because whether if it's social media, whether if it's in person and in life, those things will begin to be, I'd say, largely exposed, and it could manifest itself into problems that you're bringing on to someone else, right? So let's bring the pieces together. Let's make it whole, and certainly replenish and refill with the great substance, in this case, water, and life with fullness and love of self. Until next time. We will close out there.
Yeah, we just want to share our contact information once again, just in case you didn't catch it at the beginning. If you want to follow us on social media, that's what we talked about all day today, right?
Give us some likes, right?
Right, because we're looking for it.
We're looking for it.
But seriously, you can find us on Instagram and Facebook at DEM, DEM, Darn Dorsey's, right? And then you can also email us at support@fortuneenterprise.com, and Fortune is spelled IVTUNE, okay? IVTUNE, enterprise.com. And I know we make it a little tricky for you with DEM and Fortune, but hopefully you follow us, right?
That's it.
So until next time, we look forward to hearing your feedback and connecting with you on the next episode.
Bye.
Bye for now.
Develop a fortune state of mind, state of mind. It's time for a date with, time for a date with the Dorsey.